YouTube faithful, what's going on? It's Thursday. We got primetime football tonight. Thursday night football on Amazon Prime. Let's go. Go ahead, Amazon. Sponsor your boy Crush for the one time. We have copious amounts of NBA games. I believe we have, what, 8, 9? Help me out, chat. 8 games, I believe? Maybe we don't get blowouts in the NFL and the NBA tonight. Could we get that, folks? Can we get no blowouts? I know you paid the price last night. Captain Crush knows you paid the price. Why? Here's why. Because you dibbled, you dabbled with that Lakers game that was supposed to be crispy. It wasn't. So then you went, you chased your losses, and you got shelled in the late game because they got beat by 40. You dig what I'm telling you? They got beat by 40. That's not professional ball. That's professional sell jobs. I'm talking door to door. So what we're going to do today is find the favorite things we can on this poverty board, and we're going to hopefully get it done. Now, the downside is it's early. I got requests for this video to be early, so here your boy is in the flesh in the grayed out early video. Problem with that is market data shifts. News comes out, we miss value. That's part of it. All the lines haven't settled. We don't know if we're beating the closing line value, aka CLV. But I guess you get more incentive to be in that live stream at 5:15 Central. Actually, on Thursdays and Mondays, it's 5:30 because of the NFL. And let me tell you something. Yesterday, live stream, bang, master class. If it wasn't for that, I probably would have had an L. Instead, as you can see, 50 unit profit, bang. And that's with all the hooks and all the nonsense you could handle that happened, the blowouts, everything. I told you guys, we're waiting for Celtics news. I pivoted to Pritchard. I was all in on him. All of a sudden, Pritchard made my night. So it was Pritchard, Maxi's assist, Jalen Johnson's assist, and Giannis's Gabi. Those 4 things, they cash, I'm in the mix. And then I could have had Nagasaki if Gobert got his points. But again, blowout or he was soaring over. It is what it is. We'll do a recap, but now let's get into it. I'm your boy Crush. We got NFL and NBA. I need you to smash that like button. Know your role. Pay the toll. It's a free video. The like costs you nothing. It helps your boy with the algorithm. The comment guy that's the algorithm booster, I appreciate you, bro. I know who you are. Go Bucks. So let's break this puppy down. Should we start with NFL? No, we're going to start with the NBA. We'll save the main event. That is how I do things around here. Now, late last night, your boy, at 1 a.m., I was putting out plays that were crispy. And lo and behold, PrizePicks moved the needle on all of them. So now we got to adjust. And this popular play tab, let me talk to you. It actually ain't bad today. I mean, all these plays are crispy one way or the other. Not all of them, but I'm talking Scooty Barnes. I'm talking Sabonis. I'm talking MPJ. And I'm talking Voos. I got Voos last night. Points assist. Bumped it. PRA. Bumped it. Michael Porter, 21.5 points, rebounds, bumped it. Scotty Barnes, stand pat. I'm not sure. I thought this would be removed or goblified by today. I don't know what's going on there. You know he's going to chuck at least 5 to 6 3-pointers. Towns, bump. Sabonis, I think I took his points assists? I can't remember. His points at 18.5. I forget, but I know he got moved up too. So the first thing I'm going to do is talk to you about the fantasy scores. There's 2 in particular. Right now, De'Aaron Fox at 39. Where are you at, Chief? Right there. Bang. 39 fantasy score for De'Aaron Fox. Check this out. We're going to go over here to the fantasy point per minute tool. I got them highlighted. In 21 games, now this is a day or two behind, 37 average minutes, 31% usage rate, 44 fantasy points on average, and 1.17 fantasy point per minute, y'all. So follow the leader here. 1.17. Let's multiply it times 36. We won't even give him his average of 37. We'll give him 36. We'll be conservative. Bang. 42.12, which is right around what I had him projected for. So for that reason, De'Aaron Fox has to be considered. Now let's go over here to DG Fantasy, my partner. You can use code CRUSH and you can literally get 25% off your first month. You can't beat it with a stick. And you can see De'Aaron Fox right here, 39, 53.9%. He's 40-40. Again, I don't take the fantasy score market data too much into consideration. I just don't, because there's only 2 books and they're not even real fantasy scores. But you know that it's not in jeopardy of getting bumped down. So you could go ahead and take De'Aaron Fox and just hope that he cooks. And then you could take De'Aaron Fox and John Morant's assist combo at 13.5. John Morant's assists are always in play. So is Fox pretty much. And you could get that right there if you don't have access to fantasy scores if you wanted to. Now, as PrizePicks is adding more fantasy score more data is going to be showing up. And Jaren Jackson, leg number 2, the run back, 33.5 fantasy score. Let's say you took Fox, right? You want a 1v1 stack from the other side. You could go to Jaren Jackson Jr. You could take his fantasy score. I actually have a couple of run back options here. So if you wanted to take his fantasy score, you saw the market data. It's crispy, all right? Let's go to the fantasy point per minute tool. Okay, so you can see in 16 games, 28 minutes average. His minutes are gate kept all the time. He gets in foul trouble, or they just decide to go small, or they gatekeep him. You never know. His usage rate, though, 28% when he's on the court, the rock's in his hands, and 38 average fantasy points, 1.34 fantasy point per minute. It's massive. So take 1.34, and let's just say he plays the worst case scenario, only plays 28 minutes. Bang. You're still getting 37. Now, that fantasy point per minute is obviously going to go down with Morant on the court. Most of those averages, he didn't have Morant on the court. It is still a 4-point differential. I think this is a good 1v1. Now, if you don't have the fantasy scores, you could do something like this. The assist combo with Fox, or you could just take his points assist, or even just his assist, not his points assist, excuse me. And then you could go here with Jalen Wells, 14.5 points, rebounds, assists. You want to talk about a little wagon. 15, 20, 22, 18. You last 5 kings are jumping out of your seats being like, oh, let's go, you last 5 kings. But it ain't because of the last 5, jabroni. It's because it's a good play. As you can see here, if we go check the market data, Pinnacle has it at minus 130. Every other book, minus 130, minus 133. We're getting it in. We're getting it in good. So if you didn't want to go with Jaren Jackson Jr. because of the minute gatekeep situation, you could go right there. And if you don't want to take the fantasy scores, you could go right here, or you could just take Fox straight up assists, or you could eat the bump on the man, the myth, the legend, Sabonis, if you'd like. Now, we need to talk about PrizePicks update, because now you can power 5-mans just like you could on Underdog. Same thing with the 6-mans. Now you can power them. That adds a wrinkle of strategy into the mix. Now goblins have even bigger weight on PrizePicks, because now you can take goblins and you don't have to get those ridiculous flex equity payouts. You can power it all the way down and you can get better odds. And speaking of goblins, yesterday, Giannis, his main line was 6. They pulled it. When they brought it back way late in the day, it was 6.5. So what was the move? His goblin at 4.5. I even took it at 5.5 on parlay play, which made me go 5 of 6, which is unfortunate. But my point is sometimes taking the goblin, guys, is the move. You can't be afraid of it because someone on Twitter told you it was a sucker bet. That person doesn't know what day of the week it is, much less what a sucker bet is. So what am I talking about? So something like Michael Porter Jr., right? His 24.5 PRA. My favorite for him was his points rebounds. I don't care about the matchup. I know it's not optimal. I know it's bad, but I still took it anyways. At 21.5, it was a steal in my opinion, which is why I took it. Okay? So now that they bumped that up, I ain't gonna advocate that you eat that bump, fella, but I don't mind a goblin like this at 19.5 PRA. Look at his floor and ceiling. Remember, we're looking for ranges of outcome. So in the last 5, I'm not gonna waste time and pull up Outlier. 31, 26, 30, 28, 39. Let's just say his floor isn't even 20. His floor is literally like 25 right here in the last 5 games. His ceiling is 30. So when you get a goblin like this, pretty much unless he has a horrific shooting night or unless they just get blown out of the arena, he should be in the mix to get this. So then you'd only need to find one more play that you like, and that would be your daily double. So let's say it was Fox's fantasy score or Fox's assists. You're getting 2x, a daily double, which is fine. You can double up your money just like that. There's not a lot of things in this world where you can just get a quick 2x return on your investment. In fact, there's nothing. But speaking of return on investment, how about Bitcoin, y'all? I told the Cord boys 9 months ago, buy Bitcoin when it was low. Now it reached over 100K, and now with the new election and the new Bitcoin bulls and crypto bulls, it's Bitcoin to the moon. Let's go. Buy your Bitcoin. You can buy it at fractionals. Don't be scared. Long-term investment. Get in the mix. Oh, you thought the captain's Discord was just for sports? No. I give life advice, financial advice. I do it all, baby. I'm here to do the Lord's work, regardless of the area. If I know about it, I will give you the optimal play. So we talked about 3 things with NBA. Now let's go scour the market data and see if we can find anything else before we swap on over to the NFL. Okay, you can see Marcus Smart is another one, 20.5 fantasy score. Wouldn't be bad at all. Darren Fox is still there. Andrew Wiggins, 25.5 points, rebounds, assists. How many of you got burned by Andrew Wiggins the other day and the whole Warriors team. But that line is going to move to 26.5. So if you want to get on Wiggins, you best get him quickly. The hobo incarnate, Brandon Ingram, under points assist. Pelicans are a fade for me, except for Missy. Missy's the only exception. Fred VanVleet, he sold my sixth man the other night, and guess what? I'll go right back to the well. His RA, his PRA, I'll have it all. I'll be right back in the mix. Why not? Why not, fella? Why not? Now, one thing that confused me was Michael Porter Jr.'s fantasy score being juiced under. It doesn't make a lot of sense. And before you say cap, Aaron Gordon's back. Fella, I know Gordon's back, and I still don't think it makes a lot of sense because Michael Porter Jr. is the epitome of a friggin' wagon. Now, you can see once you start getting into 52%, it's no man's land, so I don't really value it that much. At that point, it's just looking at where it is so you don't get in trouble and take a bump. However, with no Kevin Durant, now I have a rule. I don't like taking players against the Pelicans. I don't. But with no Kevin Durant, you got to consider Bradley Beal's points, rebounds, assists, even his points, and possibly even his fantasy score once they put it up. There it is at 31.5. You'd have to consider him. I personally took his PRA. I'm not going to have too much exposure to Bradley Beal because of the Pelican matchup. Booker's probably going to be asked to do a lot tonight, but Missy on the other side has been a wagon for me. He just has been. If you want to take his points at 10, I do not mind it at all, and his points rebounds at 20. Even with Ingram and all those guys back, I don't mind it at all. Either one of these is fine. Again, I'm trying to condense this video and make it short and sweet, so I'm not going into all the analytical data on Outlier. I already did that for you guys. Normally I would do that, but I have a doctor's appointment in roughly 2 hours, and I still have to edit this, shower, and get out of here. And I still got to talk about football, so I'm trying to rush through this. Next, Scotty Barnes. He's obviously in the mix versus my Thunder. I don't know what he's going to do, but the man's usage rate is insanely high. So if you want to target Scotty Barnes tonight, fella, his 1.5 3-pointers made, you got to consider it. You got to consider his Goblin PRA at 34.5. I will 100% have exposure to this PRA at 34.5. You will not get me off Scotty Barnes. And look, if you take his PRA with any random prop, you can get 2.5x. Check this out. You ready for this? Two Gobbies are almost paying 1.6x right here. Okay, so if you added in a third leg, you could push it to almost 3x. Either one of those Gobbies are fine. Scotty Barnes' usage rate is over 30%. He just hustles. He gets rebounds, assists. He chucks. I absolutely don't mind Scotty Barnes. And if everybody starts to move to Scotty Barnes like they are, you can pivot over to RJ Barrett, maybe even Jakob. And then on the other side of that ball, you got to look at Shai's RA regardless. Where is it at? 11.5. It's always going to be in the mix. He's just been a wagon. Rebounds, assists. He does it all. And then ironically enough, I kind of like less on his points. Now that is scary because I am a Thunder fan and this is one of my favorite players. However, I think less would be good there, but I do have exposure to his RA. Jalen Williams, I think Hartenstein could bounce back tonight. He just sold everyone. I don't think it's going to be a problem for him. I think his points, rebounds are always in play. His PRA, all that stuff. It's pretty much Oklahoma Thunder roulette for a run back for Scotty Barnes. Now remember, this video's early, so I'll hash all this stuff out later in my live stream, which is the hour before lock, aka crunch time, where I do my best work. And speaking of those live streams, you can see right here, this is how this beautiful slip was made. We swapped over to Peyton Pritchard once the news came out. No Tatum. I told everyone my day now depended on Pritchard. I took his fantasy score and I took his points, cash. Franz Wagner, 38.5 points, rebounds, assists, cash. Jalen Johnson, assists. We talked about him on the YouTube, cash. And then my play of the day, Giannis, 4.5 assists, cash. He hooked at 5.5 on parlay play. Unfortunately, heartbreak, but this was still 7x. And that is plenty, okay? So this helped me make my units. And then as you can see, the way I designed my lineups, Rudy Gobert could have made me 280 profit here. I actually had Rudy Gobert as the last leg in 4 lineups, and he sold them all because of a blowout. He would have soared over. They let him come in again late in the third, and I thought he was going to backdoor because they were trying to get him his double-double, and he just couldn't get it done. I still took, I think this was 1.75x because of that Goblin. But then on my 3 and 4 man powers, it didn't hit, unfortunately. But you can see Zachary, I talked about him on the tube, cash. Jalen, Maxey's assist, another live stream call out. Peyton Pritchard as well. call. And then I think Rudy Gobert was a live stream call out as well. He soared over his fantasy score, which was my favorite prop for him. But unfortunately in this one, I had his points. It is what it is. And then overall yesterday, you can see I profited 50 units, even with all those blowouts, even with Anthony Edwards not getting a full run because he blew out, even with Anthony Davis selling because of the blowout, even with the Bam Adebayo hook because of the blowout, even with all that stuff, I still had 50 units because it's all about anchors and darts, mixing and matching. That helped me after that abysmal Taco Tuesday. So if you want to get in the live streams where I do all those last minute call outs and make those lineups, community lineups and stuff, CaptainCrush.net, gold package, $24.99. I do have the discount for you guys right now still. It's promo code thank you, all lowercase, one word. The link will be pinned in the comments. Bang, it's 15 for your first month for new members. You get my live streams, my projection sheets, which I have NFL and NBA posted right now, bright and early, and my plays and my lineups. All of it, buddy. All of it, plus access to the community, the role members. I guess they were crushing esports while I was asleep last night. Go figure. Maybe I'm the dark cloud. I hope to see you in the mix. Promo code thank you. It's ran through the Dub Club, synced in Discord. You can also sign up with any of your boys' partners. Parlay, Play, Chalkboard, Sleeper, Underdog, and I throw in 30 days as well as DG Fantasy. All the links are in the description. So why do I point that out to you guys? Because it's critical, because what is going on right now may not be the same during the crunch time window. That's why I kind of, whatever I'm going to do, say I'm betting 30 units for the day, I do like 15 in the mornings, which are the brunch window, you could say, like breakfast, lunch, and then right when that crunch time window hits, I'd hit my other 15 units, and that would be it. So then I'm in for 30 units on the day, and then that is how I roll. It's just the nature of the beast. Closing line value is a big deal, and markets shift right before lock. It happens every single day in the NBA. I've been telling you guys this for years. So there's a couple other things that I do want to cover very quickly for the NBA before I pivot to the NFL, and that is the Spurs. Okay, they're playing the Poverty Bulls. You know it's going to be high scoring. It should be anyways, and I believe Devin Vassell has to be considered. No Wemby. He just came off the bench last time and was able to still get 33 fantasy score. I think this fantasy score right here is kind of way too low. Now the market data is going to be whatever on him, okay? Because look, it's going to show under fantasy score. I got his points oh my gosh. I got his points rebounds last night at 18.5 and they moved it all the way up to 21.5. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Okay, that's crazy. Locked in value. I took a chance on it. I was right. Now, if you don't want to deal with the fantasy score because it may move down here, just take his points at 17.5. If you're new to betting and you don't know Devin Vassell, he chucks. That's literally what he does. They're going to ease him in, whatever. He hasn't played a lot of games since coming back. He's played 2 to be exact, maybe 3. They've been easing him back in since coming back, and I honestly believe that he can get 18 points, no Wemby anytime. That's what he does. He does shoot. If his shot is on point, he's going to go over 18 points. It really just comes down to that, and you can't ask for a better matchup, to be honest. So I did want to mention that, or you could just take Chris Paul, and then also with Sohan back in the mix, maybe look at his rebounds. Where are they at? Well, they only have a Goblin and Deeblin, of course, but his 5.5 rebound Goblin absolutely has to be considered. The man is like a little Dennis Rodman-esque when it comes to grabbing the rock off the glass, so I think Sohan, his rebounds are in the mix, his Gabi. And then lastly, Towns. Everything for Towns has been bumped, but look at the matchup. They're playing the Hornets. His freaking rebound at 11.5 is a Goblin, which is insane. It's insane that it's a Goblin. It was just the Taco at 9.5. This is a Goblin. I think it's crazy that it's a Goblin, to be honest with you. I took his points rebounds at 36.5. It's now at 37. If you want to take his RA or his rebounds, I think that's totally fine. Again, it's the Charlotte Hornets. We already know how that goes. I encourage you to use the fantasy point per minute tool that is in the Discord because that'll help you with all these fantasy scores. Now let's move this thing over to NFL and talk about the main event because we got the Lions and Packers and no Bears. Oh my! And what's hitting and what's not hitting? Well, right out of the gate, we already got to talk about it. They're going to be in the optimal conditions. So the field goal yards combo, 120.5, that could be fine. And the longest field goal at 47.5. Either one of those is fine. Do you want your night to depend on it? No, absolutely not. Not with these two kickers, but it is going to be in a dome and it is a 3.5 point spread, which means the game is likely going to come down to a field goal, which means we got to have exposure to it, whether you like it or not, because it's a 3.5-point spread. Field goals are going to be in the mix. Over under 51.5. This could be a barn burner if we get lucky. I'm telling y'all, if we get lucky, this game could feed tonight. It's a Thursday night game, which is the only downside, but you got to consider the field goal combos, especially they're decent kickers, and it's a 3.5-point spread, and it's in a dome, and it's prime time, and it's the short week. Everything that you would want is trending for that, so I believe it's good. Next, we got to talk about Jared Goff's 1.5 pass TDs. Guys, it is a 51.5 point total. The quarterback on the other side, prop line is 1.5. Now, so is Jordan Love's. Why is Jordan Love's a gobby? Because I'll tell you why. Goff has the added benefit of Monty, Montgomery, and Gibbs. Both of those guys can rush it in and eat. They go down to the goal line, they hand it off to him, and they just do their thing. That is what the Lions are going to try to do. They're going to try to control clock, and they're going to run the ball. You have to decide if you want to play roulette between Monty and Gibbs. For me, I just went with the pass TDs for Goff. I don't love it by any means, but I am overexposed to it, full disclosure, because I couldn't decide. Do I want to go with St. Brown? Do I want to go with Laporta? Do I want to go with Monty, Gibbs? I was like, well, actually, why don't I just take Goff and hopefully he throws 2 touchdowns and I get access to all those guys? That was my line of thought. And why was that my line of thought? Well, because you just saw what happened on Thanksgiving with Miami versus the Packers, okay? You know the game could get into shootout. The point total's 51.5, so that's where I went. If you don't like that line of thought, then I promise you shouldn't take this. If you follow my thing with somebody has to score points, and even though they could score like 3 or 4 touchdowns with Montgomery and Gibbs could catch a touchdown pass, Monty could catch a touchdown pass, Laporta, St. Brown. St. Brown's been out of the end zone 2 weeks in a row. Maybe he gets his tonight. I'm not sure. You never know. Those touchdown props are really hard. And then on the other side of the ball, it's Josh Jacobs for me. And lo and behold, I got him at 70.5. They moved him up to 73.5, which means, did they move his rush plus receiving? Nope, they didn't. So they left. This is cinema. They moved his rush yards up from 70 to 73, but they left his rush receiving at 90.5. So I would just go down here instead of eating that bump, unless you think he's just going to go yard. Look at this. 17.5 and 19.5. So please don't take it at 19.5 when you can get it at 17.5 if you're going to take it. I think that's crazy that they left it on there. Again, because they bumped him, I would just go right here to rush plus receiving yards. But I do believe, even though it's a bad micro matchup, I do believe that they're going to give him usage. Even though they like to throw the ball, they're going to rush the ball. Jacobs has been an animal. He's cashed for me many a times. Look at his last 5, okay? 43, 106, 76, 95, 127. He's going to get his unless they get in a scenario where they're down a lot. But since it's a 3.5 point spread, I'm not too worried about that. Now, another thing, I don't usually give these out first quarter props, but guys, this is the wagon of wagons. Josh Jacobs, 19.5 first quarter rush yards. I will take the time and go to Outlier and show you this because my God in heaven, it's a wagon. I'm going to show you. You guys think I'm joking. Captain Crush would never give you guys a first quarter prop most of the time, but check this out. Look at the last 10, fella. He's missed it once, okay? Bang, bang, bang. It doesn't matter the matchup. He's been getting it. Lions last time he got 35, 29, 58, 30. I mean, the matchup is bad. They're 4th in rushing yards allowed to running backs. But you cannot argue with this. Wagon. Okay, look at the last 5. You last 5 Kings are jumping out of your seat. You're jumping out of your seat. In the entire season, he's only missed it 1 or 2 times. 2 times! Are you kidding me? You gotta take a shot on it because they're feeding this man in the first quarter. So I'm taking it. Okay, that's just how it is. I am taking it. And they run 51% of the time too. All right? I ain't scared. If he sells, he sells. You see the wagon. He's cashed me so many times. I'm going with it. I also think you could sprinkle in some Amon-Ra St. Brown first quarter receiving yards at 13.5. I don't really like that one as much, but it does feel a little bit too low. But definitely have some exposure to Josh Jacobs. And folks, if he sells, he sells. That's just it. It's the nature of the beast when you take first quarter lines, fellas. It's just how it is. Now, tight ends, y'all. Tight ends. What are we doing? Well, Tucker Kraft. They removed his receptions at 3.5. Nope, there it is. I think all of these are in the mix. All of them. I think his receptions at 3.5. I think his fantasy score at 9.5. I think even his receiving yards are in the mix. And I love his goblin receptions at 2.5. I love it. I love it. I think it's hitting. The Lions are giving it up through the air, but look at the micro matchup. They're ranked number 1. You hate to see it, but I don't care. I'm still taking it. I still took it. Not his receiving yards so much. I do like that, but mainly his receptions and his fantasy score, because even though it's a bad matchup, Tucker Kraft is just going to be in the mix. He's just a big body, and he's just going to get work, man. He's just going to get work. And then again, reason I'm sticking with Josh Jacobs mainly, though, is because it's roulette with both of these teams. These are the two teams, besides the Chiefs, where it's really, really hard to figure out where the usage is going through the air, okay? The Lions, not so much through the air because it's mainly their running game. Who's it going to be, Gibbs or Monty? The air game, too, St. Brown, Patrick, and Jamison Williams, you got to deal with that, but St. Brown is still the clear stud. But Jordan Love, it's Kraft, it's Wicks, it's Jaden Reed, it's Watson, it's Melton, it's all these guys. You never know who it's going to be. If you did want to take Jaden Reed, you know he's going to get targets. What is he going to do? I'm not exactly sure, but you just saw what the Bears were able to do, right? You just saw Keenan Allen and you saw DJ Moore. They stunt on him. I think Jaden Reed and Wicks could absolutely do the same thing, and I think no one's going to be on Watson today. He's always the stepchild, and I believe Watson should be considered as well. I just don't know yet what I'm going to do with these particular guys, which is why I'm saving it for the live stream and not telling you guys to take anything. The priority for the YouTube is Josh Jacobs. The priority for the YouTube on the other side is Goff. But don't think that Montgomery and all those guys aren't in play, because they are. And also, just like I gave you guys on Thanksgiving, David Montgomery, more 19.5 in his first attempts. I think that's fine. Absolutely. And I think his receiving yards at 17.5 is also fine. And I'm pretty much going to leave it at that and save the rest for the live stream. I've given you guys too much as is to think about. Normally, I'll give you guys more analytical data and go into Outlier and stuff. But again, I'm sorry, it's an early video. I got requested for the early video. I'm crunched for time because I do have that doctor's appointment and I still have to edit this and publish it and everything. So I'm still kind of undecided myself. I do have a lot of lineups posted in the Discord. All the projection sheets are up. That should help you. You can get in the Discord with that discount. Thank you. New members, $15. It'll help you out in your process. I will turn you into a winning player. Make sure you're checking the market data, guys. Make sure you're checking this, because this will make you a winning player as well. You can use promo code CRUSH and get 25% off your first month. The links are in the description. I also throw in 30 days of my cord when you do use it. I'm giving you every path to victory a man could have, y'all, and I'm doing it with love. So I appreciate you tuning in. Here's the salute. Good luck in all your contests. And as always, my brothers and sisters in Christ, let's crush this Thursday night slate.